Sweet children, the Father, the ocean of knowledge, has come personally to perform the dance of this knowledge in front of you children. Become clever, serviceable children, and the dance of knowledge will be good. Question: what hobby do you children develop at the confluence age? What's your hobby? You don't have a hobby?
Study and teach others.
No, but this is very good. The fact that you're having a hard time getting this explains a lot.
Remembering Mama.
That of staying in remembrance. You don't find that fun, do you? This is your spiritual hobby. As well as developing this hobby, you also have to perform divine and spiritual actions. You are Brahmins. You definitely have to narrate the true story to everyone. So actually, you guys were partially right. Children also have the hobby of doing service. You have two hobbies. Song: have patience, O mind. Your days of happiness are about to come. Well, hobby means you have fun doing it, right? Which is a better hobby, service or remembrance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you enjoy that more? You don't like service as much? You
Together.
can't do both your hobbies at the same time?
Together.
Huh?
Together.
Oh, together, good. Oh, Shanti. When someone is ill in the hospital, the patient hopes to become free from pain. He asks his doctor what his condition is and when he will become free from that illness. All of those are limited matters. This is an unlimited matter. The Father comes and advises you children. You children understand that this truly is a play of happiness and sorrow. And it's a drama, and there's happiness in it, and there's sorrow in it. Well, how could a drama not have both? In fact, but everybody says, when we get to the end of Silver Age, can't we just go back to the soul world? Then you wouldn't experience the sorrow. Does anybody remind repeating heaven identically? No. So the only part you don't want to repeat identically is the sorrow part because you sinned. Well, stop sinning and it won't have to happen, but you won't. So therefore, that has to repeat identically. In fact, you children have more benefit here than in Golden Age because you know that you are in God's lap at this time and that you are the children of God. At this time, we have very elevated incognito praise. Although human beings call the Father Shiva, Ishwar, Bhagwan, God, they don't know him. They continue to call out to him. This happens according to the drama. There is both knowledge as well as
Devotion.
there's knowledge and ignorance, which is similar to devotion. The day and the night. They have continued to sing this, but they have such Tamo Pradhan intellects, totally impure, that they don't consider themselves to be Tamo Pradhan. They're so Tamo Pradhan, they can't even recognize that they're Tamo Pradhan. Only when someone has the Father's inheritance in his fortune will these things then sit in their intellects. You children know that you were in extreme darkness. The Father has now come, and we have therefore received so much light. This knowledge that the Father explains is not in any of the Vedas, scriptures, Granth, any scriptures. This Granth is the Sikh scripture. The Father tells you this and proves it. I give you, children, the light of this knowledge of the Creator and the beginning, middle, and end of the creation. Then it disappears. No one can receive this knowledge from anyone except me. This knowledge then disappears. He said it twice. You understand that the Iron Age passed, that the Iron Age has passed, and it will then
Come again.
repeat after 5,000 years. Sorry, you can't opt out of the cycle. So why don't you, instead of saying, I don't want to experience that again, why don't you just make your cycle now as perfect as you can make it? Right? This is something new. It's not mentioned in the scriptures. I mean, now that I understand the cycle, which you cannot go back hindsight and redo it, but now that I understand the significance of the cycle, I understand I had to renounce everything right away like Brahma Baba did. I didn't really know how to do that. I didn't understand the significance of that. I heard the words, but if I wanted the happiest cycle possible, to minimize the sorrow to just everything I had experienced up until I got knowledge, then I would have renounced everything in 1 second. So because of not making that decision immediately upon getting knowledge and recognizing Baba, therefore, as I say to you, you're on the clock. You still continue to sin even after. And that is why you have to create your copper and iron age sanskars. Okay? So the reason you find it hard to change is because you still have so many copper and iron age sanskars you have to work through. But if you had the realization and recognition, you would just stop using them, renounce them. That's why we say everything to do with body consciousness is bhakti, is blind faith devotion. It's not necessarily a religious devotion, but it is a blind faith devotion. The Father gives you all this same knowledge, but all of you are number-wise when it comes to imbibing the knowledge. When good, serviceable children come, Baba's dance of knowledge reflects that they have good intellects and they're very serviceable. When the audience watching a dancing girl is very keen, she performs the dance very well in happiness. If there are only a few sitting in the audience, she would perform an ordinary dance in a common way. So people are inspired by the appreciation of the audience. When there are many who applaud, her enthusiasm increases. It's the same here. All the children listen to the Murli, but to listen to it personally, face to face, is a different matter. It's also shown that Sri Krishna, too, used to dance. That wasn't a physical dance. In fact, as they show it in the scriptures, in fact, it was the dance of knowledge, because he was playing the flute, the Murli of knowledge. Shiv Baba himself tells you, I come to perform the dance of this knowledge. Right? So it's Shiv Baba who's doing the dancing, right? Which they think is Krishna. But he's doing the dancing through the body of Brahma. So he's speaking the Murli through the flute of Brahma. I am the ocean of knowledge, and so very good points emerge. This is the flute of knowledge. It is not a wooden flute. Would the purifier father come and teach you Raj Yoga, or would he come and play a wooden flute for you? No one would ever think that the father comes and teaches Raj Yoga in this way. You now understand this, but it doesn't enter the intellects of any other human beings. Those who come here claim a status number-wise. You now understand this, but it doesn't enter the intellects of any other human beings. Those who come here claim a status number-wise. Whatever effort each of you made in the previous cycle, you will continue to make the same effort now. You children know that the Father comes and reveals all the secrets to you exactly as he did in the previous cycle. He says, I too am
An actor
and therefore
bound by the drama.
bound by the drama. Everyone is bound by the bond of the drama. Now, whether that bond is because you're just tied to it and have to play your part, or whether it's a bondage because you're in Iron Age, is up to your consciousness. So nothing has to be a bondage. It's a choice. Nothing has to be heavy. Nothing has to be sad. Nothing has to be painful. It's only because of your consciousness that you experience such things. Whatever happened in the Golden Age will also happen again. There are so many different species. In the Golden Age, there won't be as many species as there are now. That's interesting. Later, the number will continue to grow, just as the religions will also continue to grow. They don't exist in the Golden Age. Yeah, so religions were created by man. Okay, physically, they're a creation physically, but they came from man's consciousness. So too, the species come from man's consciousness. You'll only see the things of the Golden Age in the Golden Age. There's nothing in the Golden Age that would create dirt or rubbish. And the creation today, all these animals and insects that hurt, cause harm, even mosquitoes, are a manifestation of our consciousness. Those deities are called gods and goddesses. In no other land would anyone be called a god or a goddess. Those deities definitely used to rule the kingdom in heaven. Look how much those deities are praised in devotion and religion, in Hinduism. You children have now developed patience. You know how elevated or low your status is, because you know you're from the first half at least. Now you have to look at your effort. And he says you should be able to tell from your meditation and your dharana whether you're golden aged or silver aged. If the drama were to end now, right? You know how elevated or low your status is and with how many marks you will pass. Each one of you can understand for yourself that so-and-so is doing good service. Yes, whilst you're moving along, storms also come. So when he says how elevated you are, what marks you're getting, it's based on those 4 subjects. Baba says, each one of you can understand for yourself that so-and-so is doing good service. Yes, whilst you're moving along, storms also do come. The Father says, let there be no bad storms or omens over you children. Maya makes even good children fall. The Father gives you patience. There's a very short time left. You also have to do service, because service is the basis of your golden age fortune or your silver age fortune. When this establishment has taken place, you will have to return home. There can't be any change in this drama of even 1 second, identical to the last second. They probably in the 60s didn't really talk about nanoseconds, right? Isn't that interesting how we come up with this terminology as the world speeds up? The world speeds up and everybody's more heightenedly aware of time. So they now create even finite moments of time because their concentration on the science of matter is getting more and more concentrated. Therefore, they have to have smaller and smaller amounts of measurement. Only you children can understand the secret of this. We are actors in the drama. We play the main parts in the drama. This play of victory and defeat is based primarily on Bharat. Bharat in particular. Bharat was pure. There was so much peace and purity there when it was golden and silver age. It's a matter of only yesterday. Yesterday, we were the ones who played those parts. The whole parts of 5,000 years are recorded. They're being recorded now, but they're already inside of you, so they're being replayed now, but they're also being pre-recorded for the next cycle. We've been around the cycle and we are now having yoga with the Father, through which the alloy is being removed. So words like recorded, remembered, played are really just words we use to explain emerging something from your sanskars. Yeah, manifesting something, creating from your sanskars. Really, all that's happening is the disc is replaying. But because you have free will, then even the free will is replaying. So that's why it's not just simply saying, oh, it's just all repeating. Otherwise, it disempowers your free will and you won't consciously make effort to be the best. We have now been around the cycle and we are now having yoga with the Father, through which the alloy impurity is being removed. When you remember the Father, the inheritance will also definitely be remembered. First of all, know Alpha. The Father says, by understanding me, you will understand everything from me. You'll understand everything about the Creator and creation. You'll even understand Baba through him. This knowledge is very easy. It is a matter of just a second. Nevertheless, he continues to explain it to you. He continues to give you points. The main point is
Remembrance.
Man above. And it is in this that there are
Obstacles.
When body consciousness comes, you choke in many different ways. You panic, your mind shakes, you get scared, you act improperly. That's choking. It doesn't allow you to stay in yoga. On the path of devotion, when they sit down to remember Sri Krishna, their intellects wander in so many different directions. Everyone has the experience of devotion. Everyone. They're devoted to something, even if it's not God. It refers to this birth. By understanding this birth, you can also understand something of your past births. You children have developed the hobby of
Remembrance.
remembering the Father. The more you remember him, the more you enjoy your hobby, do your hobby, the more your happiness will increase. Together with that, so if you don't love remembrance, then the more you remember Baba, your happiness won't increase. So clearly it's not your hobby. Together with that, you must also perform worldly actions that are divine and spiritual. Together with that, you must also perform worldly actions that are divine and spiritual. You are Brahmins. You are Brahmins. You narrate the story of the true Narayan, as well as the story of
Story of immortality.
immortality. There's just one main thing in which everything is included. It's only by having remembrance that your sins are absolved. Only this one hobby is spiritual. The father explains that this knowledge is very easy. The name Kumaris is also remembered. Out of Adar Kumaris and Kumaris, Adar Kumaris means half Kumaris, and Kumaris, the name of the Kumaris is glorified a lot more. So the difference is Kumaris are pure and remain pure from birth, and Adar Kumaris were married and therefore did not remain pure. So purity is celebrated in religion. Even Mother Mary, right? It's celebrated. Why? Because they say, oh, she gave immaculate birth through immaculate conception. Those husbands would make them vicious. This father decorates you in order to send you to heaven. He takes you into the sweet ocean. The father says, completely forget this old world, including your old bodies. The soul says, I have completed 84 births. I will now claim the full inheritance from the father in this last 84th birth. Although you remain courageous, there is still a battle with Maya. This Baba's in the front. He faces the storms of Maya the most, Brahma Baba. They come to him first because he was first. Many come and tell Baba such things that come to them, and Baba replies, children, of course these storms will definitely come. They come to me first. At the end, all of you will reach your karmatit stage. That's why all you got to do is stay in the boat, keep making effort, get through all the storms, and you'll get a reward. All these people who quit, run away, they just give up, right? And so, of course, they get a fortune, a result, a fruit of karma accordingly. This is not a new thing. It's also happened in the previous cycle. You have played your parts in this drama, and you now have to return home. You children understand that this old world is, what's it called?
Hell?
Hell. It is said Lakshmi Narayan used to live in the ocean of milk. People built such good temples to them. At the beginning, when a temple was built, they created a pool of milk and placed an idol of Vishnu in that. They used to make many good images and worship them. At that time, everything was very cheap. Baba has seen everything. Truly, this Bharat was such a pure ocean of milk. It was as though there were rivers of ghee and milk. They have just portrayed this praise. As soon as you mention heaven, your mouths begin to water. Yeah, because it's karma. People have unknown karma that they have to pay, and they're just walking around with no awareness, and then the karma has to come and be paid. They have just portrayed this praise. As soon as you mention heaven, your mouths begin to water. Each of you children has now received the third eye of knowledge. Therefore, your intellects have received understanding. Your intellects go to the home, and then they go to heaven. Everything there will be new. Baba used to be very happy whenever he saw his idol of Sri Narayan. He used to look after the idol of Narayan with a lot of love, not realizing it was a memorial of himself. He didn't understand that he would become that himself. You have now received this knowledge from Baba. You have the knowledge of Brahman in the beginning, middle, and end of the world. So you could even therefore say that even Brahma Baba, it took him a while to figure out he had to love himself. He was projecting his love onto the statue of Narayan. So he was in low self-esteem too, obviously. You understand how you go around the cycle. Baba's teaching us Raj Yoga. You children should be very happy, and only a short time remains. So therefore, as he said the other day, you're all very jnani and knowledgeable about knowledge. But he said, part of knowledge, he said, is also the knowledge of Maya. Nobody wants to have knowledge about that. That's a result of suppression, denial. You have to love both. Otherwise, you're still in denial. How can you love only half your cycle, the virtuous half, and still say you love yourself? Because if you don't acknowledge the other half, then you're in denial of that. If you're in denial of it, you can't look at it. If you can't look at it, how are you going to actually change it? So then you only want to look at the first half of your cycle. That's weakness. Nobody wants to say that, but that's weakness. You should have to become unaffected by the second half of your cycle. That is what it means to be karmatit. How do you do that without knowing what you have to be karmatit from? Immune to what? Your vices. You need to know them in detail. Nobody wants to do that. Baba's teaching us Raj Yoga. You children should be very happy that only a short time remains. Something or the other will continue to happen to these bodies. This is now your last birth. Something or the other will continue to happen to these bodies. This is now your last birth. According to the drama plan, your days of happiness are about to come. You can see that destruction is just ahead. Each of you has received the third eye of knowledge. You understand very clearly about the incorporeal world, the subtle region, and the corporeal world. This discus of self-realization continues to turn around in your intellects very well. You have the happiness that the unlimited Father becomes your teacher and teaches you. But because this is a new thing, you're not used to it yet, you repeatedly forget it. Otherwise, when you say Baba, the murky of happiness should rise like to the sky, to the heavens. But nobody's that happy, even with knowledge. Ram Tirth was a devotee of Sri Krishna. So he used to make so much effort simply to have a vision of Sri Krishna. When he had a vision, he then became very happy. But what actually happened through him having a vision? What happened through that? He didn't receive anything. Here you children have happiness because you know that you're attaining such a high status for heaven. So here you are in the path of devotion, doing crazy intense devotion, austerities, penance, charitable donations to the church, the temple, whatever. And finally, you get your vision. It's kind of like you do all that effort, and your reward is you get a YouTube video in your email box. That's it. That's your reward for doing all of that. Because that's what a vision's like, right? For 3/4 of the cycle, you are happy. If it were half and half exactly, half happiness, half sorrow, there would be no profit, and you wouldn't want to come and play your part in the drama. You are happy for 3/4 of the cycle. The first half, completely happy. The second half, the other half is distributed over 2 ages. You are happy for 3/4 of the cycle. No one can experience as much happiness as you. For you, there is limitless happiness. When there is great happiness, you are unaware of sorrow. That's a clue. You have to become that happy so that you become unaware of sorrow. To become unaware of sorrow, to erase the awareness, memory of sorrow, would you not have to know the sorrow that you have inside of you? Hence, you got to make effort on both vices as well as virtues. So how can you do that if you're a touch me not? How can you do that if you're sensitive? What's sensitivity telling you? Your sorrow still scares you and rules your mind. And everybody thinks, no, it doesn't. That's suppression. Otherwise, if you have fear inside of you about anything, it is ultimately connected with sorrow that you haven't faced. So if somebody gives you sorrow, it's because it's already inside of you, right? So then how do you get rid of it if you're going to be sensitive and wounded and hurt by it? You got to get stronger. It is at this confluence stage that you understand both, that you are now going into happiness from sorrow. If you understand both, you got to be able to understand your own sorrow, self-realization. Your faces are facing the day and your feet are facing the night. Kick this world away, that is, remove it from your intellects. You souls know that you now have to return home. You have played many parts, but don't go looking at your sorrow without being stable in the company of Baba. That's just torture. Why would you do that? But you do have to find the strength to eventually look at it as on the basis of stabilizing your relationship with Baba. You go look at your sorrow without Baba. That's just crazy. Talk to yourself in this way. Now, the more you remember the Father, the more rust will be removed. Baba says, you souls know you now have to return home. You have played many parts. Talk to yourself in this way. Now, the more you remember the Father, the more the rust will be removed. The more you remain busy doing the Father's service and making others similar to yourselves, the more you reveal the Father. And therefore, there is great karmic fortune in bringing a soul and to reconnect them to Baba through knowledge. Huge charity. It's in your intellects that you now have to return home. An old building continues to decay. Look at the difference between an old building and a new building. There's a difference of day and night. This really is a river of poison. Nobody thinks that that desire for that kind of personal love is body conscious. They think that's just love. No. If you need someone to love you like that, what's that telling you about your ability to give love?
It's very low.
Pretty low. Right? Baba says there's a difference of day and night between heaven and hell, the old building and the new building. This really truly is a river of poison. People continue to fight and kill one another here. Now that Baba has come, a lot of fighting has now begun. So Baba comes and all the fighting breaks out. That's why Baba comes. He knows that's going to happen. If a wife doesn't agree to indulge in lust, then she's harassed so much by the husband. People create so much trouble. People create so much trouble. So many atrocities took place in the previous cycle. Those things that are remembered refer to the present time. So really all this is not about whether your chromosomes are XY or YZ or whatever it is. It's about, I want to choose to define myself. I don't want you telling me who I am. So it is an identity problem, which is why there's gender dysphoria, they're calling it. That's just an identity problem. Why do they have this problem? Because they were never stable or secure in who they were based on the way their sanskars and based on the way they were raised. Look how knowledge could fix that, but they don't want it fixed. They just want to be heard. There's so much pain inside of people disrespecting them and not acknowledging them that now they've created this whole culture about that. Those things that are remembered refer to the present time. You can see how such mothers call out. The part of the drama is now being played. It's played right now. No one apart from the father and you children know this. Every 5,000 years, I'm going to share these points in today's Murli. As you make further progress, everyone will come to understand it. It is remembered that the Father is the purifier and the bestower of salvation for all. I don't plan these points in advance. I read them early, and what triggers in my mind based on, oh, that means this, Baba, that means that. You have to have a quick mind. And I can explain a bunch of things to you that you might not have thought about what Baba is talking about. And especially because I understand this impure world, I can tell you what he's referring to, even though he will never say those words. It is remembered that the Father is the purifier and the bestower of salvation for all. Explain to anyone how Bharat becomes heaven, how it then becomes hell. Come and we will explain to you the history and geography of the whole world, from heaven to hell. Only God and you, God's children, know this unlimited history and geography. By knowing this history and geography, you know how purity, happiness, and peace are established. And in brackets, you could put, by God at the confluence stage, identically every cycle, right? You will definitely claim your unlimited inheritance from the unlimited Father. Come inside and understand this. And everybody's outside the center going, I don't know. You all wear white clothes. Your words are funny. There are many topics. The heads of you children are now overflowing. The mercury of happiness rises so high. You children have this entire knowledge. You are receiving this knowledge from the knowledgeful Father. We will then go and become Lakshmi Narayan. This knowledge will not remain there. These are such deep things that they have to be understood. You have to think about them deeply and understand them. You children understand the picture of the ladder very well. This is the cycle of 84 births. Now explain this and clarify it for people. This world cannot be called heaven or a pure world. That golden age is separate from this iron age. It's very easy to understand how this cycle turns. The explanation is good, but many people are unable to make effort to stay on the pilgrimage of remembrance. Acha, to the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning. From the mother, father, Bap Dada, the spiritual father says namaste to your spiritual children, and
The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
number 1, essence for dharna. Remove this old world and your body from your intellect and remember the Father and the home. Constantly maintain the happiness that your days of happiness are now about to come. Number 2, churn this knowledge that you receive from the knowledgeful Father and keep your intellect overflowing. Don't become body conscious and choke in any way. Blessing. May you become seated on Baptada's heart throne by being constantly seated on the throne. This is a good one. It's a good one to remember, better than just say, oh, I'm sitting on the throne. Seated on the throne of a constant stage. To be on the throne, your stage has to be constant. If you're not on the stage and going up and down, fluctuating, falling off, getting back on, you're not on the throne. The most elevated throne is Baptada's heart throne. However, in order to sit on this throne, you need to have the throne of an unshakable, immovable, and a constant stage. Oh, that's what's stopping me from feeling Baba's love. Yeah, that's what's stopping you. If you're not able to be stable on the throne of this stage, you cannot be stable on the throne of Baptada's heart. For this, be an immortal image. You have to be soul conscious consistently to feel Baba's love. For this, be an immortal image and sit on the throne in the center of your forehead. Do not ever shake on this throne, and you will then be able to sit on Baptada's heart throne. It's very simple. Slogan. With your pure thoughts, transform anything negative into positive. Avyat signal. Father Brahma wants to see a smile of spirituality on each child's face. Secondly, he wants to hear sweet words coming from your lips. Let not a single word be without sweetness. Let there be spirituality on your face, sweetness in your words, and constant good wishes in your mind and your intellect. Have the feeling of a merciful bestower and follow the Father at every step. Give the return of this sustenance. Om Shanti.